final season of Game of Thrones is what feels like an eternity away, but thanks to months of leaks, we can take a pretty good stab of things we're probably going to see in the final season. Warning, there are massive spoilers and potential spoilers for this season in this video. While some of this is me piecing together things based on leaks, it's also based on very real photos and videos taken of filming the final season. You've been warned. Okay, so filming for the final season is officially done, and we got some really exciting leaks. But then there's photos, rumors, and spottings that aren't 100% confirmed to be in the final season. So this video, that's what I want to talk about. The things that are probably going to be in the final season, but we can't be completely sure. For example, leaked video and photos of King's Landing making it confirm that it gets breached, but the how and the different reasons why are in the air. And yes, this is different from the definitely confirmed video, which I will be putting out in like a week or two. Alright, let's start with number 1. Cersei is probably going to be naked this season, which in itself isn't that interesting. Well, at least to me, maybe that's interesting to you. What I think will be interesting is the potential reasons why. Lena's body double that was used for the Walk of Shame is back for the final season. Several tweets by the actress showed she was in Belfast, and a now deleted tweet from the Industry casting hyped up their artist being used again for a repeat role in Game of Thrones. So there is strong evidence that she's back, but we don't have 100% confirmation for what exactly. While I don't think Cersei will be doing another Walk of Shame, nor would Jon or Dany make her do one. That just doesn't feel like it's in their character to me. I think what this means is Cersei is going to be naked this final season, and it could be for an okay scene or a really, really sad scene. I'm leaning towards Euron comes back with the Golden Company for Cersei and wants to collect on their agreement.
The Golden Company is not here, they're in Essos. How is a mercenary company in Essos going to help us?
Do you really think Euron Greyjoy turned tail and sailed back to the Iron Islands? Do you think he abandoned the chance to marry the Queen?
Jaime has left her, and Euron will continue to serve her and probably want something in return. This could mean that Cersei and him get married and he becomes king. Or hell, we just see sexy time. Because let's be honest, Euron and Cersei having sex is going to be crazy. Those two going at it is at the top of my sex scenes I want to happen in the final season. It would be fucking nuts. But then there's the much darker side of me that thinks we'll either see a miscarriage scene with Cersei waking up naked in bed with blood all around her, or worse, we'll see Cersei go through childbirth to have a stillborn. Maybe that's a little dark, I just don't see Cersei's baby living. Although if it did, and Jon and Dany had a baby, maybe the two could be put in a marriage agreement to stop the bloodshed. I mean, the Targaryens have done that before. On the other hand, if she is married to Euron and they sleep together, we could see Cersei naked and Euron strangling her to death after fucking her. So now he rules. I wouldn't put that past Euron, and the people of King's Landing don't seem to have issues with abrupt and weird leadership change, even when that leader just pissed on their faith. I mean, who knows what the small folk would do? And given the massive time jumps there's been strong indication for this season, all this could work out. Let's move on. Cersei will most likely lose King's Landing. I know for a lot of you that's a definite, but I don't like to get ahead of myself. Throughout filming at the King's Landing set, we saw lots and lots of Lannister flags, and then they just all disappeared. Disappeared around the time there were lots of controlled explosions and fires around the set. This seems to point to Cersei losing control of King's Landing. We also saw the Red Keep get a fresh coat of paint and turn white. Now, why did they paint it white? Maybe so they could reuse it for something else. Maybe they wanted a fresh coat so they could paint on more battle damage. I mean, maybe. Or maybe the person that takes over King's Landing has the Red Keep turn white, which is an interesting choice. If we do see a white Red Keep in the final season, I hope it's to signify a new period of peace in Westeros. Next, Rhaegar is likely back in the final season. Probably. The actor for Rhaegar took a selfie in Belfast, which in itself was fine until it got attention and he quickly deleted it. That was kinda suspicious. And from what we've seen this year, D&D are loving being out in the open to throw fans off. We also saw this actor around where they were filming Game of Thrones. So Rhaegar is probably back. The actor was being far too suspicious for his character not to be. Now, why is Rhaegar probably back in the final season? Well, likely just for a flashback via Bran. I could see quick flashes. Rhaegar at the tourney of Harrenhal, Rhaegar meeting Lyanna, Rhaegar talking to Ilya about the prophecy, just small snippets that don't require heavy filming. Also, Rhaegar was obsessed with the prince that was promised and saving the world. Maybe Bran sees what he was planning. Perhaps this information can help with the Night King and the Whites. Rhaegar could have uncovered something in all his research, and Bran could reach back to learn it. But since we're talking about Targaryens, let's talk about dragons. So I reported some time ago that there was a dragon prop at the King's Landing set, which indicated there was going to be a dragon or dragons at King's Landing in the final season, which is kind of a duh. But what's more interesting is the other props that we're seeing at the King's Landing set. So close to where they were filming the King's Landing scenes, someone with a sharp eye noticed there were burned Lannister molds out. Now these were far enough from the filming and set out in a way where they could have not been used for filming but for a lot of different reasons, but I find it hard to believe we're having dragons at King's Landing and we won't see some toasty Lannisters. I put the possibility of those Lannister molds being used for the final season to be almost 100%, which still makes it a probably and not a definitely. Onwards, Melisandre's actress is likely going to be back for the final season. We remember her last scene and her promise.
Oh, I will return, dear Spider. One last time.
My lady.
I have to die in this strange country. Just like you.
Well, her actress was spotted near Game of Thrones, where they were filming in Belfast from deleted photos. We're all stalkers, just let it go. And she had already been spotted a few times since when filming began. So the likelihood that Melisandre is back in the final season and that she brings followers of R'hllor with her to take on the Night King is really high. A leak that doesn't have much teeth to it has said she will appear at Winterfell in her old person, her true form, but I'm not quite sure. It could save her from being skewered by Davos. Regardless of how she comes back, Melisandre is going to die this season. I wholly believe she will sacrifice herself in some way to help defeat the others. If karma has any say in it, her sacrifice will involve her allowing herself to be burned to death or lighting herself on fire. Jaqen's actor not only said that his character could be of use taking down the Night King, but he was also spotted in the area where they were filming, including around the dragon pit scenes. Oh, and the waif's actress was spotted too. Jaqen being there could make sense. The faceless men serve the many-faced god, and they're super into death. Something that is perverting that would likely anger them, and stopping the Night King would be a goal of theirs, if they don't see him as a manifestation of their god. The waif, honestly, since her face was taken, anyone could be wearing it, so that isn't going to bother me. But these actors could have also been in the area for the end of Game of Thrones celebrations they were being thrown, so we'll see. Now here's some of the crazier things that photos were leaked of that I'm not 100% convinced will actually happen. Sansa at King's Landing with a huge group. I feel bad for Sansa having to go back there and leaving Winterfell. I can see her leaving Winterfell if it is overrun by whites though, or if they need to regroup further south. Perhaps even at the end of the season she goes to King's Landing to have a meeting about how Westeros will now be ruled. Regardless, a meeting between Cersei and Sansa, if it happens, is going to be intense and filled with some bitchy looks and aggressive words. At least now Sansa will be in the position to fire back at Cersei, which I really want to see. We also have leaks that Sweet Robin will be in this season and with the main group. I didn't think they were going to acknowledge him or just have him locked away safely, but I guess Robin will be interacting with the main cast members? Probably. Almost definitely. That kid needs to die. Okay, this next part probably should have gone in my definitely happening video that I'm releasing in a week or two, but it didn't quite feel right. So we'll probably 99.99% sure see undead Dothraki and Unsullied, so Dothraki and Unsullied whites, which you knew it was gonna happen. So I reported on a huge green screen that was spotted being used for a northern scene or scenes. The leak stated that Jon, Dany, the Unsullied, and Dothraki were present in this scene. Further images showed a lot of whites that were there as well. Oh, and trebuchets that were launching fire at those whites, but whatever. So obviously Dany and Jon's forces are battling them up north. However, the next photos that were leaked were shocking and exciting, if I'm being honest. Whites on horses. Not just regular whites, but Dothraki whites and Dothraki white horses. Well, what looked like Dothraki whites on white horses. The photos were blurry and it wasn't the easiest to make out. So we're probably going to see undead Dothraki, and it's going to be amazing. Though admittedly probably heartbreaking for Dany to watch, and as she has to put down her reanimated army. Oh hey, I bet you this one's going to blow your socks off. We're going to see a rape scene or attempted rape scene in this season. I know. Get your jaw off the floor. A casting report for the final season wanted a woman between the ages of 18 to 25 who would be naked from the waist up and playing a young villager girl. There is a man casting that appears tied to this casting, and he's either the one raping her or saving her from the raping. Or maybe they're having sex when the others attack their village. I don't know. At least people will get their boobies though, because there's a lot of viewers that haven't figured out you can just Google breasts. They're kinda dumb. On some good news, Arya is probably going to make it through most of the season. Maisie, we learn through her social media presence and maybe a little stalking, shot a lot more and longer than other actors, so maybe Arya lives? Oh, and Clegane is almost certainly confirmed. The Unmountain actor has heavily implied it, and shooting dates and locations of Sandor and his brother have matched up somewhat. Don't question me. It's happening. Okay, so those are some things that are probably going to happen in the final season. Let me know in the comment section down below which one of these you think is definitely going to happen. Make sure you like, subscribe, and come back for more videos.